Hello, everyone. I'm not gonna give my usual greeting because I'm coming to you in the capacity of myself, not the character New Era King. This is past Master Duckworth from Bayview Lodge number 64, most Grand Lodge, most worshipful Grand Lodge, PHA, the California, most worshipful Grand Master is David San Juan. And I like to introduce everybody. We got an alert at the door. Yes, we have an alert at the door. Where do we go from here? But I'm here to tell you, Masonry, Freemasonry is a very beautiful thing. It has impacted my life tremendously. It has allowed me to do many things that I possibly would not have been able to do. It has uh given me a sense of worth in terms of the brotherhood and the camaraderie and the things we do for the community through philanthropy and just out of the kindness and goodness of our hearts. It's all about brotherly love and things of that nature. We also work with our auxiliary group, the Eastern Stars, which also comprises brothers and sisters. But I think that my main reason for doing this, it allows our people to get an accurate, in-depth understanding of one, my experience, because I do not have the ability or the capacity to talk for the Grand Lodge of California unless I were given the authority to do so, which I have not. So I'm just basing it off my opinion and what I've come to understand ever since 2013, all the way up until now. I have sat in the East, so I am a past master. So I am well, I would say, qualified to speak on matters when it comes to the Constitution and bylaws and basically uh, residing over a lodge. So I was on Beach's show earlier and I had a back and forth, which was really unnecessary, but it kind of got under my skin how he was talking about a sister of mine, which is part of the Easter Star. But we'll save that for later. But it just motivated me. I think the people are very unaware and unintelligible, and I really couldn't formulate myself in my words because I feel as though like it was sort of an attack, and I will rather appear lost than to divulge or give away something that to someone who hasn't earned it. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather appear unworthy than to relinquish something someone hasn't worked for and they obtain it. Because it's not about secrecy so much, but it's about holding on to that which you worked for. No one is entitled to that other than those who have gone through the process. And if you can't qualify a person or that person hasn't proven to you in any way, shape, or form that they've gone through that process, then you shouldn't relinquish anything that you obtain. Like I said, it's about your experience and your experience alone. And that's what I'm going to bring forth. So I'm going to do a series upon certain things when it comes to being a Freemason, being a black Freemason at that. So I'll be talking about recognition, as far as your lineage being traced back to African Lodge, and I will be talking about the different forms of masonry where you have the free interceptor masons, you have the ancient free interceptor masons, and how each plays their roles and the difference between the two. Um, I will also go into a little, certain certain nuances and understandings that help people, you know, with their curiosity about the whole organization, so to speak. Masonry, Black Freemasonry is very important, especially Prince Hall, in the sense of a lot of these members created these fraternities. A lot of the members of Prince Hall were the founders of these Divine Nine fraternities, and then from those were the sororities and things of that nature. So it's had a pivotal role in bringing up the talented tenth, the upper class of blacks. I mean, it's embedded in us. I just put it like that. I'm pretty sure, like anything of success you had in some way, shape, or form, Prince Hall Freemasonry has played a pivotal role in it. Um, but I mean, I was being bombarded since I just wanted to be in a place where I can actually talk about it. So I'll just give you this tidbit, and then I'm gonna just go into something different. So when it comes to recognition, how does one Mason recognize another? Signs, grips, and tokens are how we identify who's real and who's not. Signs, grips, and tokens. That's how one is able to identify his brother in dark as well as the light. So, sign, grips, and tokens are held sacred. They're like badges to getting into your job. If you don't have the if you don't have the right sign, grip, or token, then you're not going to get through the door. You know what I'm saying? And there's always a Tyler present. There's always someone present to ensure that they keep off all cowens and eavesdroppers. So that's the little tidbit I'm gonna give y'all now. I'm gonna structure it and I'm gonna set it up. When you when you get a chance to view this video, like it, thumbs it up, put your questions in the comment section, and we'll deal with those topics. Help me help you. We're going to get to the bottom of this and we're going to work together like family does. And we're going to get a real sense of what Freemasonry is. So remember to leave your comments down below. We could go through it all. Like I say, I could, I definitely am not going to fake the funk with something as serious as this. I can show you my lineage goes back to African Lodge. I definitely have my card. We don't have dues cards anymore. We have actual black cards. I have my passport. I have I have pictures and everything. And if you go to bayviewlodge.org, I'm sitting there as clear as day. It's an old picture from when I was a worshipful master. Now I'm a past master. Uh, I forget what's his name. The worshipful master at this point is uh I, Pierce Pearson, worshipful master Pearson. So definitely get into put your comments. If anybody got any questions now, I'll put my thing in the chat. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, I don't. Um, but like I said, it's very simple. It's not really anything intricate. It's a social club. It's a brotherhood. It's a way to deal with charity. It basically comes out the Bible when you talk about masonry. And yes, they had issue with me saying that a ritual is nothing more than a play. But yes, that's what a ritual is, because you're reenacting. What are you reenacting? Moral values, because it's a system of morality veiled in allegory. So yes, it is a play. So yes, that's what it is. You're reenacting particular beings that are found in the Bible to help instill in you how to be moral, how to be just, how to be upright. So, I mean, a lot of people don't get it because they not on the level, or they haven't reached a high enough level to understand that, because it's 3 degrees to it. You have apprentice understanding, and then you have and then from that apprentice understanding, or a basic understanding, then you grow into your fellow craft, where you have a bit, like, you it's not that you learn little bit more, it's just that you get to see what you already have from a different angle. And then you go into master mason, which is the highest you can go in masonry. That is the highest you can go in masonry. I don't care if you're a 33rd degree, 32nd degree, 29th degree, 14th degree, so forth and so on. Take it from somebody who knows. Third degree is the highest. Because when you get buried, all you have is that lambskin. All you have is that lambskin. So, and those in the know what I'm talking about, and hopefully those who aren't in the know are listening. But yeah, so that lambskin. So once you become a master mason, all is revealed. But then we have these auxiliaries, appended bodies. You could go York Rite, you could go Scottish Rite, you could do both, and all they do is go more in depth into the things you learned at the 3rd degree. Because when it comes to masonry, you forever learning. There's never a point in time in Freemasonry where you just know it all. Because it's just like creation. You'll never know the totality of creation. And all there is to know, we don't live that long to understand millions and billions of years of existence. You know what I'm saying? So you're forever learning in masonry. I'm not going to sit here and say I know it all, but I know what I know. And the things that I know got me up to be a past master. And one day, hopefully, I'll be able to be a Grand Lodge, you know? And one day, hopefully, I'll be able to be a Grand Master. But that comes in time. So, once again, in order to, we use signs, grips, and tokens to recognize one another. And y'all familiar with the signs, y'all see entertainers doing certain signs and stuff. And grips is handshakes. And tokens are catechism and certain things that we say. But I mean, you'll never get to that, or that's what you do in the early stages. I'll say in the early stages of masonry, you'll use that in order to try to see who's who. But once you understand more about the organization and more of your role and your part, you start to use things like lineage. Like, how is your lodge connected to African Lodge? How is your lodge connected to the Grand Lodge of England? Like, those things. Those are recognized lodges. Now you have the Oriental lodges, which is France, and those are your ancient free and accepted Masons. And they do things different. Since we're recognized and we fall under, even though we have our autonomy, because we're able to write our own things, we're just recognized by the Grand Lodge of England. They don't write our constitution, our bylaws, and things of that nature. we are able to make Masons that will be recognized in that sense. It differs, and we'll go into this later because it's so deep and everything about I could everything. I'm gonna just take it from the beginning, from apprentice. I be my first one fellow craft. Then I do, master mason, but I'm gonna really put it all out there for us to understand. And it's a lot of trickery and wizardry, going on. And it just takes a little research and someone that cares, that really wants to tell you how it is. Because some people don't make the right decisions. You know what I'm saying? Before I even thought about becoming a Freemason, I actually did my research. Because why would you be a part of something you know nothing about? And even after I did my research, I had to go to a brother and tell him my interest. And then from there, it wasn't like, okay, you in. I was tested. I would go to the events. I help set up the events. I'll go to their drives. I pass out backpacks. I do this and that. I told them that I had a real interest in what they was doing. And from there, I finally had been given an application, put in my little $100. No, it was $150. I gave them my $150. And then the next thing I know, I find out for the first time my grandmother's an Eastern Star. They came and visit me at her house. She called me to her house, and at the time it was Smitty. Worship master was Jay Smith, and who was it? James Smith. I'm sorry because this was about, I'd say, 19 years ago. It was, and at the time, the senior deacon was not. I mean, the senior warden was Aaron Washington, so they came to my house, and they asked me questions, everything they did after the interrogation. Then it was a couple weeks. Then they tell me to come down to the lodge, and then that was the first time, I met my line brothers or whatever the case. And it was just two of us. Well, no, 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 no. When I conversed, when I conversed my first degree, it was like six of us. But when it came down to it, it was two of us, which remained. But yeah. So my cable toll is a brother by the name of Al Catrell, a real good brother. And it's just like it just opened up a new world to me. Like I'm sitting with the movers and the shakers, and we're all the same. Nobody is less than anyone else. It doesn't matter your occupation. It doesn't matter your intelligence and how much you achieve. All that matters is you there to be a brother in time of need. All and you there for the sisters. The sisters come through, cook, and do a whole lot for us. And then I also joined the so I joined the shrine, but I joined the consistory and then I joined the shrine. And then I mean it just became too overwhelming for me. So I had to drop out the shrine, but I stayed in the consistory, which is the Scottish rite. So technically I am a 32nd degree Mason. But I mean, when you get into masonry, all that stuff really doesn't matter. The titles and everything. You got title junkies and all that, but I mean, for the most part, like I said, you can't go no higher than that third degree. That third degree basically stamps you and makes you credible. And like I said, being part of the recognized, I'm glad that I wasn't, that because a good brother of mine's father was a four-letter Mason, but you know, at one time you couldn't, PHA. I mean, they made mistakes in the past, and they rectified them. I feel as though they did more good than bad. I would say, in my opinion, and not just because I'm a member, but at one time, they didn't allow brothers who could read, allowed them to be, Prince Hall Freemasons. So, of course, brothers wanted to be Masons, so they would join the four-letter Masons, and it was just things like that. And it's a split that I don't understand, and I wish it wasn't there. But I mean, it is what it is. So, I may seem offbeat or something when I'm dealing with what I consider to be someone that is clandestine or someone who is not recognized. I mean, they may be good men and they still my brothers, but not on a Masonic level, And I mean, that's just what it is to date. I don't know what it'll be tomorrow or any day after that. But it's really nothing to prove. I don't care whether you think I'm legit or not, or I have an understanding of my craft because my works speak for me, and I have done multitude of things, especially when I was in office, and I basically fast track. I went from what I started off as the senior deacon. Yeah, I started off as the senior deacon, and I went from the senior deacon to the west. I went from the senior deacon to the junior warden, and I went from the junior warden to the senior warden, and then from the senior warden, I made it to. No, I think I did senior warden 2 years, and then I was the worshipful master after that, and it was a beautiful thing. I mean, it teaches you how to run a. I mean, I believe I could run a Fortune 500 company with ease. I mean, just from alone, just being in control and organizing and dealing with the tasks. It's more to it. People think it's about the secrets and the lore, but it's not even that. That's not what trapped me in masonry. What trapped me in masonry was the brotherhood, the way we were able to affect the community. The dinners we have for the widows and the sisters, the the drives, the backpack drives, the toy drives, the clothing drives. You know, it's that stuff when we go to these schools, when I go to the library and read to these youngsters. Like that's what it's about. All that lore stuff, that's just so we can have something in order to, keep our morality in check. That's all that's what that is used for. That esoteric aspect of it is just to give you something to help instill in you and further embed in your brain your sense of morality, what you owe to God, what you owe to yourself, and what you owe to your neighbor. But a lot of people take it and run with it and know that it can spook people out, so they twist it and turn it and make it into something that's not, just to exploit and manipulate people. But like I said, it's a system of morality veiled in allegory used to expose certain truths about life. So, I mean, everybody wants to be legit, but it's just like you can't go around driving a car with the license you made yourself. No, you have to get a license from the DMV because DMV is recognized. That's where my thing was in that conversation with that good brother R. Cook is that You have to prove to me that you got your license from the DMV before I start to converse about you about driving. And until you could do that, I'm not going to converse with you. But now, a brother that's from PHA, I understand his experience because it's going to be similar to my experience. I understand the type of morality I'm getting from this brother because we are bound by the same constitution and bylaws and things of that nature. I could trust this man. That's how it works. So I don't expect to be recognized by people who have no recognition themselves, recognition themselves. Excuse me. I don't expect them to want me to stand out more so than them. No, I didn't take an oath. I can say there might be an oath within my obligation, but no, I took an obligation. I'm obligated to do the things I do, and I don't have a problem standing on it or saying that. And an oath doesn't legitimize anything. An oath doesn't legitimize anything. That that piercing of the heart thing that does not mean anything. You're not gonna see some type of mark on someone's heart proving that they're a Mason. Like that makes no sense. Absolute no sense whatsoever. But Cowards and eavesdroppers will always have a made up understanding of what you are and what you represent. But I mean, I don't want to go too deep into it. I want it to be structured so people can get the most out of it because I'm scatterbrained right now. I'm super sleepy. I just got off work. And like I said, thank those who came, who lent their ear. Brotherhood, charity. No, I'm sorry. Brotherly love, charity, and truth. That's all we stand on, man. And I will do this. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna say that. So, is there anything to come before? Is there anything to come before we close out? Hey, Zone Trevin, shout out. I appreciate it. Is there anything to come before we close out this regularly constituted lodge? Is there anything? I bet you they can't say that. I'm stop. I'm stop. I ain't being petty. I'm sorry. Even when I try to be good, I'm being bad. I'm being New Eric Kane. New Eric Kane, step back. Just past Master Duckworth right now. But if there's nothing to come before this regularly constituted discussion, I would say peace to everybody. Do your research. Perseverance is key. And if you liked it, throw a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, put them in the chat. So when I do start my first aspect of the series, The Apprentice, I can answer those questions and more to come. Y'all have a blessed evening. Always put God first and handle your business 24 hours of the day. Split into eights. Make them count.